Welcome back, everyone. So many times I talk about just the sort of crown jewels that we have here. We live here, right? I always think of that when I see visitors. I think to myself, they're going home, but we get to stay here. And I love that. And so there's the natural wonders, like, of course, Lake George and whatever. But we also have other unbelievable institutions. Take the Hyde Collection, for instance. And of course, the Chapman Museum, which is right downtown in Glens Falls. I pass by it all the time. And it's just such a wonderful place to visit on a regular basis. So every once in a while, I like to check in with the director, Nicole, just to give you an update on what's going on at the Chapman. And as a friendly reminder, oh yeah, that's that beautiful house sitting on the corner there. I got to stop in there. So at any rate, hi, Nicole. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me today.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Not too long ago, my wife took our granddaughters over to Chapman. She came back. She said, they're changing all the time. They said they always have different things going on there, and it's really true. I want to talk about a couple of things. One of them really struck me because it was just such a unique thing. This thing called the Chapman Challenge. At first, I thought it was some kind of quiz or something, and then I looked it up, and it's wonderful. There are 30-something historical sites that you list, and the challenge is to visit some of them, all of them. What's the deal with that challenge?
Well, the Chapman Challenge is a popular activity where participants visit 20 out of 38 historic locations in Glens Falls and the Queensbury area. It was originally developed in 2020 and launched in 21 as a way for the community to engage with local history. There are historic markers, monuments, ghost signs, neighborhood landmarks. So now there are some exciting improvements to the challenge. There are 3 new locations to visit and the addition of a map that's linked to Google Maps. So it's easier to find some of the historic markers and locations where they may have been a little more difficult to locate. Many of the stops they highlight local history from the French and Indian War to today, while others are included just for fun.
I got it. Now, if you do, let's say, visit 20 of the 38, I mean, what happens? Did you go to the museum and let everybody know? What happens?
Oh yeah, we want to let everyone know. So at each stop, participants record the date of their visit. They could take photos, a video, anything for fun to, record that. But just your notes are fine. And those notes could be shared with the museum. So the final stop is actually the Chapman Museum sign out front of the museum on the Glen Street entrance. So once you visit the sign, you can bring your completed packet to the museum front desk and you will be recognized on the website, and you'll get a little button and you could, and a bookmark. But I do have a tip. One of the challenges is to find a street named after food, and the Chapman Museum is on the corner of Glen and Bacon Streets. So if you could check that last one off at the final stop.
Yeah, it's funny. I knew that. Hey, do you have a personal favorite?
Well, my favorite location, of course, is the last stop, the Chapman Museum, because here you can learn about the historic places on the list. But if I had to choose a runner-up, it would be the Feeder Canal. I love that it has become a popular recreation destination where you can canoe, kayak, and engage with history along the 7-mile towpath.
Yeah, John Strow is very, very involved with preserving that path, and that really going over the Feeder Canal. I always find you almost feel like you're stepping back in history there. You just can imagine what it was like to create the canal, or what it meant for commerce at the time. Just some of those things that an era gone by, but just such fascinating stuff. Talking of that, I love the cemetery tour. Now, I don't know, maybe that's a little morbid. I don't think so. But, when my wife and I go, we're 2 for the road. So we get in the car. I don't care where we are. If we see a cemetery, we stop. We always do. And we get out and look at the tombstones because you're able to relive history in any number of different ways there. And that's a popular thing you do as well, right?
It is very popular. The last few years, we brought back the cemetery tours after a little bit of a hiatus. So the cemetery tour this year will be Saturday, September 27th. For the past 3 years, the tour had taken place at Pineview Cemetery in Queensbury, but this year we're excited to change things up a little bit and return to Glens Falls Bay Street Cemetery. We'll be introducing three new figures, including Nellie Prine Cunningham, sharing her art collection and her life story. James Koklanis, a beloved local figure, war hero, and talented athlete. And Ernest Parham Jr., an African-American dancer and choreographer who performed on Broadway and even on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Oh,
But
I think there's just something about it. Maybe it's a serenity of the environment or something, but when you're there and you take your time to read the tombstones or whatever, but that's one experience, but it's really quite something when someone's there to help talk you through some of the things or point out things that you may not notice. The tours are really special. The having, there's so much we could talk about in terms of the exhibitions that you do at the museum itself. And I want to get to the started exhibit, which seems to change a lot. But what's coming up this fall in terms of exhibits at the museum?
Well, you mentioned the Stoddard Gallery. That turns over every 12 weeks. So chances are you could come to the museum anytime and see a new Stoddard exhibit any time of the year. But the museum presents three major exhibitions each year in the Carriage House Gallery also. The winter exhibition explores themes of local interest. The summer exhibition offers wide-ranging appeal for the height of tourist season, and the fall exhibition has broad appeal, but also supports elementary school curriculum. So in October, we have By River, Road, and Rail, and that will highlight how transportation shaped our communities as technology and advancements developed. So centered to this idea is business growth around the Hudson River, where access to the river was needed for transporting goods, material, and of course, the logs that were floated down from the Adirondacks for the first timber-based businesses here. The exhibition will also have separate labeling for children and a children's book featuring Zophar the Mouse, who is the museum's official mascot.
Oh, wow. Oh, you want to know something? That's really unusual. So in other words, the signage that we're accustomed is aimed at adults. You have a second tier of signage that's aimed at kids?
Yeah, I thought since we were gearing just the content towards school curriculum, it made sense to just take another level, even for younger children, to have labeling down below the adult panels that have, just simpler language, uh, just just fewer sentences, just a synopsis of what's going on in the other panels, and little comments by a snarky little mouse cartoon in the corner.
I think I'm going to read the children's signs myself. That's it, right?
You'll get just as much out of the exhibition.
I think snarky is what set me off there. I thought, oh, good. Who doesn't want to meet a snarky mouse? Come on. Hey,
That exhibition will open on October 4th, and we'll have free admission, crafts, and refreshments.
to our viewers, and I just got to do a quick sidestep because those are obviously Stoddard photographs behind you, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, right. To our viewers, the collection at the Chapman is over 3,000, maybe close to 4,000 Stoddard photographs. And that's why the gallery is able to change them over every 12 weeks. And I got news for you. You plan to spend some time because you just go from photograph to photograph, and they're so rich in history. It's really something. I do to our viewers also, they do workshops. Now, if I got this right, I went to the website to see what some of the workshops were, and you got ones on how to make a gnome.
Yes, we do. We do have we have very talented people in the community, and we do bring in community members to hold workshops. And yes, coming up, we have a gnome making workshop. It's one of one of the many that we we offer during the year.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know, but the level of creativity is just remarkable. We could have a whole separate conversation on the value of the arts and how that contributes to the well-being of our community. But you demonstrate it. You actually say, yes, we know that we contribute to the well-being of the community, and we're going to keep presenting you with ideas of ways that you can engage with that. I just think that's really admirable. I want to just close out by letting everybody know in November that you have your major fundraiser, which is wine and chocolate event, right? Isn't that right?
Yes, the wine and chocolate event is our most important and biggest fundraiser of the year. This year, it will be at the Queensberry Hotel on Friday, November 14th. And the museum is delighted to be partnering with Queensberry Wine and Spirits, who will be elevating the wine sampling this year. So we're also anticipating to increase our food samples by offering a bit more than chocolate. There'll be cheese, bread, restaurant samples. So this is going to be a really special event. So I hope everyone tries to make it.
Well, you know what? When you think about fundraisers, they could have all kinds of names, and this one isn't lemonade and crackers. This one is wine and chocolate. Who the heck out there doesn't want a glass of wine and a nice piece of chocolate? I mean, give me a break.
That's a winner.
Yeah, it is a winner. To our viewers, the web address is on the bottom of the screen. The website is just a joy to go to. You'll find out all about the workshops, all about the exhibits, all about the plans, all about the fundraiser. And, keeping something like the Chapman right in our community, right on Glen Street, a viable institution, has a lot to do with the way we participate with these non-for-profit organizations. So please, do your best. Go to the website and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, Nicole, thanks very much for taking the time to give us an update. And you can count on us checking in with you every quarter or so just to find out what the heck you're up to.
That sounds great. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, you're quite welcome. You take care now.
You too. Thanks.